So what I've actually covered there is a few ways of linking cost to time, but actually the main way that I want to do this is over here. So we're going to start looking at the schedule connection. So if we toggle on, in fact, let's do something slightly different. Let's go to labor and give me one moment. We are going to dumper truck times, just put that back to where it was. No, let's use dumper trucks. So dumper trucks, toggle on a schedule connection. So we, instead of using this method down here, go to activity, and we want it to start here and go through these. We could then assign a proportion of cost. In this case, it's going to be equal between 3 activities. So you'll have to forgive me, but you can't do fractions of a percentage. So you can't put decimal points. So I'm just going to round it up to 33% each, like that. We'll lose a percentage point using this method, but you can see that automatically it finds the duration for each of those 3 activities as 100 days each. The day rate is then calculated has been $10 a day because it has taken that final 1% that wasn't. So if you go back here, and I did 33% each, so that's 99%. So there's a rogue 1%. If I change that to 34%, see here that the fixed is now gone to 0 and the variable has gone to 3,000. So the variable means that it can be used as part of a prolongation calculation, whereas anything left in fixed would just be like a static fee. So if you wanted to, we could reduce the amount of pro rata. Let's say it's a 30% in each activity. So there's $300 that is going to be just fixed, and it only will use the 2,700. That's the total price that is worked out for prolongation. So you can see it's calculated by saying 2,700 divided by the 100 days. Each is $9 a day. And that's how you get to the total price of the $3,000. So 2,700 times 9 times 9 times 9 plus the $300 flat fee, which doesn't change because that's fixed. And then that is how it works out this. Now, if I go dumper trucks, where in time are you? What you might have noticed when we look at the time profiling, I've got this schedule connection turned on, but if we want to actually use those dates as part of the cash flow, you must make sure that this is toggled here. Otherwise, otherwise it will just use whatever the plant start and finish dates are, which you can see are just defaulted to today's date down here on my Windows calendar, because this is when I raised and created the schedule and this risk model. So if we want the dumper trucks to not inherit the instruction from the parent folder in the hierarchies tree, then you've got to click that schedule connection on, and now you can see that it's profiled it as what was it, $9 a day, effectively across the first activity, the second, and then the third activity that it's been linked to. And if we now ran schedule risk analysis, see that that is happening with the step through, and we can go into the cost model. You'd also see that that's still taking effect there as well. And if you look here, the variable portion, you'll see this change, because when we get some iterations where we need those activities last a bit longer or a bit shorter, so that's changing. But you'll see that the fixed fee, in this case 300, stays static each time. But you can see over here the number of duration days goes up and down, because that's the schedule risk analysis taking effect there. So for avoidance of doubt, when we're talking about those dumper trucks, let me expand the plan. Here's our dumper trucks. What we were effectively saying was that $9 per day meant that for every day over the deterministic of 100 days, so if there was 101 days, it would cost $9 extra for that dumper truck to be there for that extra day. Whereas if it went down by a day and the activity only took 99 days, then it would cost $91 for the total duration, because you've saved a day at $9 a day. Okay, so what we've looked at so far is how to build up a cost estimate, how to stress that cost estimate with uncertainty, how to link that in time to parts of the schedule, and then we've also briefly looked at what you could do with formulas, although there's a lot more you can do, such as if statements and things like that. Delay penalties can be done as well. We've then shown you the schedule connection, which is perhaps the simplest or one of the simpler ways of doing things in terms of helping you work out prolongation calculations. And then the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle in terms of the columns that you've got available to you in here is the risk register and linking to the risks. And then we'll we'll end on looking at the import export from Excel.
Okay, so that's the introduction to the schedule connection method. And then coming up next, we're going to be talking about linking the risks from the risk register or the project risks screen back to the cost module. But if you were left feeling a little unsatisfied by that introduction to the schedule connection method, we actually talk about it in a lot more detail in video 19. So please feel free to skip ahead there if you want to know more about that method.